What is imagery? More importantly, what is imagery as it relates to the arts? And when I say the arts, I mean anything from poetry to novels to short stories to an image to a painting. Imagery is applied when you're evaluating any type of art. And it comes down to, it's all about the senses. The five senses. So what are your five senses? Sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste. I know it might seem to be an odd thing to ask, but when you read a piece of literature or when you see an image, to really understand what's going on in that image or in that story, you need to identify with what it smells like. Sometimes it can be really horrible, right? What it sounds like. What other sounds are going on within that plot, within that setting? What can you visualize? If it's a picture, it's pretty straightforward. But if it's a story, you have to create those pictures in your mind. And when we talk about touch in imagery, we're actually not talking about what it feels like to touch the story or to touch the picture, but what might, say, the air feel like if a story is set in the Arctic, or what might the ground feel like beneath your feet if the story is set in the Sahara Desert. And taste is another one that's a bit odd to try to analyze, because we don't want you to actually taste a book or to lick a picture. What we're saying is, if there were something that was being eaten or drunk in the story or in a picture, what would that food taste like? If they were eating food, if they were drinking something, what would your taste buds say? Let's take a look at this particular image. There's no story here, but there is some audio that you can appreciate.
The piano player abruptly ceased his upbeat tune. Whiskey glasses crashed to the floor, and all eyes widened and turned towards the squeaky, swinging saloon doors as dead-eyed Dan McGrew's spurs clinked with awesome intimidation in entering the Dry Gulch Tavern.
So we have a little backstory here behind this particular picture. So ask yourself, what is the imagery? Here's a sensory word list. And this is not by any means a complete sensory word list, but here are some possible words that you could use to identify sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. So when you look at this image, what imagery pops into your mind, given your five senses? Think on it and reply in the comments for each sense.